Welcome to the City of the Open Door. We are so glad that we can be here. We are so glad that this connects us not only to this fantastic skate park, which I still have not fulfilled my promise of dropping in on, but it connects us to so many parts of the community. It is a really big deal that we're able to really live our dream of connecting to all parts of the Seacoast as one great community. I am so proud that we were able to have this parking ad here at a great place where you can have the skate park and have so many people that, frankly, I don't get to take any credit for this, but of the things that we've done, this is probably the best. The amount of people that just come up and say, you know what, that's fantastic. And when we see government work well, and this is an example of it working its best, people start believing it again. So we are so grateful for you all being here. It's my honor to introduce our governor, Chris Sununu, who's going to come up here and talk about how great this thing is too. Thank you for all the hard work.
I just like to call the mayor and brag about how awesome Portsmouth is. As the mayor said, there's a lot of folks here and a lot of folks to thank. It's great to see Nancy Stiles here. She's going to be cutting the ribbon. For those of you who don't know, Nancy really led the way, like literally decades ago. Not to age you, or any of us, we're all getting a little grayer, but this was not an easy project by any means. From its first idea and inception to putting all the pieces together, the right-of-ways, working with the abutters, working with the advocates, getting DOT on board, finding the funding, getting all the community organizations together that line up from town to town to town, all the different inputs from those towns to make it happen. Rail trails are really, really hard, but we're really committed to them. We are, and it's not just here, but it's all across the state. This one's a little different, a little extra special, if you will, as it theoretically and hopefully someday connects. I mean, the idea of getting on this path and going to Florida, in Key West, that's pretty awesome. And that's the reality that we hope to see in the years to come. So it is a small but very integral part of that vision. For us here in the Granite State, it's a big part of what we're trying to do with rail trails from Seabrook, hopefully getting the Seabrook piece done in the next couple of years, over to Portsmouth, to Manchester, Salem, all the way up to that northern corridor that we keep investing in. So it's all a big network. And it's not just for recreation, right? The idea that this one could really be used for commuter traffic. I was talking to Bill Cass and his team at DOT. Andre, these guys have done a phenomenal job. I don't think a day goes by when the word rail trail isn't going through their head in some form over there. So God bless them for doing it. And they are expensive. I think a lot of folks in the public think, oh, it's just a trail through the woods. What's the big deal? You have to maintain them. You have to understand the engineering behind them, because you don't want them to be here this year. You want them to be here for the next 20 years and 100 years, right? And so these guys are really working hard on that design side. So that's just my very long and overwinded way of saying thank you to everybody that makes this thing happen. It's just another piece of that cornerstone here on the Seacoast that we're so proud of here in the Granite State. So thank you guys very much. I'm not sure who comes next. I'll let you
Good afternoon, everyone. Clearly, I am not Chris Pappas. My name is Gage Wheeler. I'm a member of his staff. Unfortunately, the congressman was unable to attend today, but he asked that I come along to present a letter on his behalf. And I'll try and get through this as quickly as I can. Dear friends, I'm sorry that I am unable to join you all in celebrating the completion of the Portsmouth-Northampton segment of Seacoast Greenway Rail Trail. When completed, the New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway will connect 8 coastal communities by a bicycle and pedestrian path that will total more than 17 miles. This section of trail will follow the path of the former Boston and Maine Railroad from Seabrook to Portsmouth. At its peak, the Boston and Maine Railroad included over 2,300 route miles of track with 1,200 steam locomotives and employed more than 28,000 workers. They carried goods to and from the area and helped create the tourism and recreation economy that we enjoy here in New Hampshire today. It is only fitting that the old infrastructure that built our recreation economy and transformed how we traveled in the 19th century will be reinvented as a 21st century active transportation and recreation hub. Trails like this offer Granite Staters safe places to stay active, exercise, and get outside to enjoy their natural surroundings. They provide clean alternatives for commuters traveling to and from work and home between these communities, and they also help drive our local economies as runners, walkers, and bikers take advantage of the restaurants, shops, and other small businesses along their route. In Congress, I am proud to lead the effort that supports active transportation and rail trails like the one we are opening today. This is the latest milestone in a journey that began in 2007 and has taken a tremendous amount of coordination, communication, community engagement, and sweat equity. I want to thank and congratulate all those who have worked so hard to see this project through to this point. I look forward to continuing to watch the project expand and grow. Congratulations again to all. Sincerely, Chris Pappas, Member of Congress. And now I would like to call up Executive Counselor Janet Stevens. Thank you. Oops. Here we go. There you are, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Cass, Commissioner of New Hampshire DOT. I'm not a politician. I'm not Janet Stevens either. So, but this is. Oh, is that it? I'm sorry, not high enough. Good. Thank you. No, this is great to be here. This is a great trail to celebrate. As the governor said, this has not necessarily been an easy project, but this has been a project in our minds, in my mind, of a great example of how we get things done in New Hampshire. It's built on collaboration and it's built on partnerships. Going back to the challenges we had acquiring the trail from Boston and Maine Railroad, Pan Am. It was the support of everybody, the advocacy, the horsepower that others brought to bear to get that done. In getting this done and getting this funded for construction, we ended up working with all the communities on the corridor. Every community entered into a memorandum of agreement, so it was very clear that once the trail is built, the communities are going to step up and continue to maintain it. And that was no small feat either, as far as trying to get all the communities along the trail to come to consensus and come to agreement. But it does epitomize the support and the community support of trails and infrastructure projects like this. Certainly working with the RPC and the support that they bring, bringing in all of the planning and all of the future access and future benefits to land use, to economic development, to just broader accessibility that this project is going to bring. And certainly working with the trail groups and the other advocates, as well as all of the people and users of the trail. I think it's going to be a great trail, and just again epitomizes the collaboration and partnership. I also want to mention and thank you. I don't think anybody is here, but the contractor that worked on the project, Merrill Construction, they stepped up, did a really good job. This wasn't an easy project in terms of where you can access long lineal ways in there, but they found efficient, meaningful ways to get it done. I think they've done a very good job. Sidebar, they had to go away from the project last July when we had some floods in central New Hampshire. They stepped away from this project, rebuilt 140 in Alton for us, came back and continued working here. So again, just a testament to the partnership and collaboration that goes on to all of these projects. And I'm very pleased to say that this is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is one of the first projects of a series of projects that are programmed to complete the whole Hampton Branch Rail Corridor down through Seabrook. So we'll be advertising the next project through downtown Hampton for construction next year, and there are future projects through Hampton Falls and Seabrook coming up in the future years that are in the 10-year plan that are funded and supported. So like I said, this is just the start, and it's going to be great. Looking forward to its final completion. Thanks.
Thank you. And since Janet's not here, I'm just going to take her time. You're okay with that, right? So I just want to say good afternoon and congratulations. And this really does take a team. Speaking of teams, are there any Celtics fans in the audience? Hey, all right. That was quite a year. I won't say that Luka Doncic was my favorite player, but y'all are incredible. And it's going to take the kind of teamwork that the Celtics had to get this project done. And so I just want to list a few of those. So, like the Celtics, what we just achieved for the Greenway was possible thanks to a tenacious team that put in the hard work over many years. like Jaylen Brown's drive. Our state committee chair, Scott Bogle, with the Rockingham Planning Commission and the Seacoast Greenway Alliance, were unstoppable stewards of this amazing project. Like Peyton Pritchard's smooth and focused half-court shots, elected leaders from Governor Sununu to Congressman Pappas to the mayor stepped up when we needed their help to purchase the corridor and to build the trailheads and to bring these projects to life. Like Kristaps Porzingis and J. Rue Holiday blocking shots and hitting jumpers, philanthropists partnered with our nonprofit staff and volunteers like Bob Spiegelman to do over a decade of advocacy that got us here. And like Jason Tatum and his decisive moves, New Hampshire DOT and other agency staff and construction workers did the planning, the design, and the construction to get the job done. Today, we celebrate all of your hard work and dedication. And I've got to say, this is not just a big day for the Seacoast. I traveled here from the headquarters in Durham, North Carolina, because today is a big day for the entire Eastern Seaboard. I've been leading the Greenway Alliance for 15 years, and the Greenway progress now underway in the state of New Hampshire rivals the fastest I've seen in any of our 15 states. In fact, with these 8 miles, the state of New Hampshire goes from last place in terms of percentage completion of the East Coast Greenway to one of the leaders of the pack. So congratulations to the state of New Hampshire. With this new section, we now have a well-developed 300-mile route connecting New Haven, Connecticut, and Providence, Rhode Island, all the way to Boston and the Seacoast. This corridor is about to attract people from all over the world, so get ready. We're going to enhance their experience, and we're going to expand it across the river to Maine, down to New York, and all the way to the Florida Keys. When I got involved in the East Coast Greenway back in 2009, it was a possibility that we'd get it done. I knew it was going to take a long time, far off into the future. That vision of biking, walking, running safely all the way between 450 communities in 15 states. But thanks to generous supporters giving us the resources to hire one of the best teams in the nonprofit sector, including Emily, Allison, and Mary Page. Our linear park dream is becoming a reality. We have completed together 1,100 miles of Greenway. Those miles now host more visits than any park in the country. 50 million bike rides, runs, and walks every year. And we aim to triple that by 2030. This is a path to experience America, from the moose to the manatee, from the pines to the palms, from the puffins to the pelicans. If you like pies, it's also a trail from the best blueberry pie to the best key lime pie. All right, I like some pies. Yeah, that's good. These really are miles of smiles. We are piecing together to form a healthy, sustainable, and economically thriving future for everyone. In fact, greenways, we talk about, it takes money. Yes, Governor, it takes money. But they are the best infrastructure return on investment, bar none. A recent study found you get $10 in benefit for every dollar that you put into completing the East Coast Greenway. Completing these sections, they raise the quality of life for regional residents. They attract tourists to support small businesses, from restaurants and bike shops to hotels and breweries. Greenway investment is also a statement of patriotism. as our tax dollars deliver strong returns for the common good. These are not just ornamental, they're fundamental to our communities. And that's something that actually Secretary Pete said just across the river over in Portland just a couple weeks ago. They are fundamental to our communities. And so we're going to continue to move these projects forward. And I do want to say, Mayor McEachern, in your inaugural address, you had some nice words around this is about growing together as neighbors and not apart. That's exactly what we aim to do with the East Coast Greenway. We're building the antidote to social media's divisive algorithms. Instead of falling prey to outrage peddlers, we can restore the social fabric and connect people to each other and to the outdoors. So forget about what the speech said. I'm just going to riff now. Could take even longer. New Hampshire, I do have to say, this accomplishment is also a great example of your state motto. As we saw with the tragic death of Johnny Hockey and his brother while biking last week, when a reckless driver ended their life prematurely right before their sister's wedding. Americans need safe places to bike and walk, separate from the huge and distracted vehicles of the day. By building out this linear park, New Hampshire is choosing to live free. For everyone from the babies in their strollers to the young children learning to bike, to their grandparents enjoying an afternoon walk. This federal infrastructure moment is our historic opportunity for us to get the job done and achieve visionary impact across the region and across the country. Our economy is strong, as we've seen the fastest GDP growth and jobs growth in decades. Record high net worth and a fall in inflation has our country leading the world economically. So now is the time for us to dream and think big, not small. Now is the time for us to complete the East Coast Greenway through the Seacoast, to connect communities from Providence and Boston to Seabrook, Portsmouth, and Portland, so that the next Carlton Fisk who grows up in this region feels and radiates the deep unity and pride from Fenway and the Charles River to Strawberry Bank and the Piscataqua. Please join us. Team up with the East Coast Greenway Alliance nonprofit as a volunteer, a donor, a partner. Let's imagine what this Greenway can do for the Seacoast, visualizing the healthy, sustainable, and thriving future we want. As we enjoy these 8 miles, let's double down to complete the most popular park our country has ever seen. Thank you so much. And now, for some local knowledge, we've got Seth McNally, the president of the New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway Alliance.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, that's tough to follow. I'm not a paid politician or a paid nonprofit executive director, but what I am here to say today is just a few words of thanks on behalf of the New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway Alliance. We have a lot of people to thank. I'm not going to, I had a couple sentences here to talk about them, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to name them. Jerry Klima, Coastal Trails Coalition, paved the way for us to come up through this area. Bob Spiegelman, the former president of East Coast Greenway Alliance. Scott Bogle. Scott Bogle started this 17 years ago along with Nancy Stiles. Nancy, May 2007, I think, was when the first official meeting was held on this. And it also involved a gentleman by the name of Eric Weiss. Eric Weiss wrote a grant to the national parks to develop an on-road route and an off-road route for the eventual New Hampshire East Coast Greenway. That map and that route is what you guys are seeing today. The coastal route being the on-road route and this being the off-road route, and we're here to celebrate the 7.8 miles that we have here today. Finally, as we celebrate this milestone, opening this up, we got to take care of it. So I want to extend an invitation to all of you. We're trying to do an Adopt a Mile marker trail adoption program. If anyone's interested, there's a rent tent over there. We're also always looking for enthusiastic volunteers. So if anyone is looking to get more involved, wants to help keep this trail to the quality that it is right now, please get involved. Look up New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway Alliance and help us keep this beautiful asset for generations to come. Thank you so much, and Tim Roach.
Thanks, everybody. I am a paid executive director, but I'm not nearly as eloquent or clever as Dennis. But I'll do my best here just to wrap things up as the last speaker and before we cut this ribbon and get things moving. First, a couple more thank yous. I know, Nancy, you've been thanked several times. Nancy Stiles, Governor pointed it out. Step one was getting this corridor secured. Wouldn't have happened without your assistance and work, so thank you again for that. Some folks that haven't been mentioned, you might not be aware of. Teams from the National Park Service, Julie Isbell and Leela Mellon helped us get the New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway Alliance established. Developed a signage plan. As you ride the trail, you'll see the signs out there, and also did some community connection design work in 2022. Bob White with GPI did pro bono work to design and help us get ready to build out the different trailheads along the corridor. Mark Dubowski, who's here somewhere. Mark, put your hand up. Way in the back, there he is. Led the design team to get this project designed and built. And then, of course, Commissioner Staff and his team with the DOT. Corey Spetalunas, the project manager. Alex Brenneman, the construction manager. And Shelley Winters, the director of aeronautics and rail and transit. And everybody at the front office. Couldn't done this without you. The Seacoast Greenway Alliance board members, put your hands up. Where are you? There you go. These folks integral to getting this done, and all the volunteers that get along with that, with the Seacoast Greenway Alliance as well. Can't thank you enough. And finally, I'm going to say it again, Scott Bogle. You know, when we did our annual meeting, at the Rockingham Planning Commission, and I took a picture of Tom Brady and replaced his face with Scott's. As the GOAT in planning, and without his passion and commitment, we wouldn't be here today. So before his head gets too big, I'll stop there. But the message I wanted to leave you with today is that today is the result of regional planning. It's bringing together the communities to help shape a regional vision and pursue goals like this: a safe transportation facility, a linear park, an economic catalyst for the region that's going to pay for itself time over again. And that's exactly what the Rockingham Planning Commission does, is we bring these communities together. We're not done, as several people have said. The Rockingham Planning Commission was recently awarded a $1.4 million RAISE grant through the bipartisan infrastructure law to design the continuation of the trail through Hampton and Hampton Falls as it goes down through the marsh to Seabrook. We'll be looking to get excited about that and get involved, because we're going to need your help. So look forward to that in the future. And just remember is that message that this is planning. This is what you get at the end result. And just I'd ask you to think of that as my elected officials here, and keep that investment going into the planning world, because we really do need your support, and we appreciate everything you've done. Good planning will get results. Today is a testament to that. And again, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. Thank you, Governor Sununu, Commissioner Cass, everyone from the Greenway Alliance, and I guess that's it. If we can get Nancy lined up, we're going to cut this ribbon and open the trail.
All right, ready? Count. 3, 2, 1. All right, what are they doing the mic for? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey!
You get the mic? Yep, got it ready. All right. We're here with Chris Sununu, the governor, today at the Portsmouth opening of the Greenworks project. Governor Sununu, how will this affect our local community at large?
Well, look, this is an awesome project, and it took a lot of people to come together to actually make it happen. Everything from the abutters to the engineers,
all the advocates. This isn't just a rail trail to walk on. It's recreational in its drive, of course, but it's actually, because of where it is, it actually can be a commuter trail, right? And it can be something that's really bigger than itself. I mean, this is a small part of something, and hopefully in the next decade we'll be able to walk or ride all the way down to Florida. I mean, that's the reality that folks are trying to put together, and for this piece of it to really be kind of a shining example, if you will, on the New Hampshire Seacoast, it's just a point of pride. It really is. A lot of folks came together to make this happen. We're cutting the ribbon to open it up to the public today, and we just couldn't be more proud. Again, we still have a little piece down in Seabrook to get done, but we have full confidence in the next couple of years. The engineering, the design, the work will get done, really put it all together and just have that contiguous opportunity for all of our citizens.
Great. And how do you think this will affect the local families and communities along the trail?
Well, it's for everybody to take part of, right? So it's not just a tiny trail. It doesn't just go to one or two towns. It really encompasses all the different towns, all the different communities, lots of stops along the way. It increases property value, increases recreational opportunities. So just a huge win all the way around.
And then one final question. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream you get at the beach?
Still chocolate chip. I'm old-fashioned that way. Still chocolate chip. Now the question is, where's your favorite place to get chocolate chip ice cream?
That's a good question. I usually go to the place in town, the Cold Stone, or not Cold Stone. It's right in downtown Hampton. But I used to go to the Beach Plum.
Yeah. Beach Plum's pretty solid. I'm a Lagos guy. I got to tell you, I'm definitely a Lagos guy. They're seasonal, but it's great when they're in season. And the hard part is finding good ice cream in the winter, right? So where do you go in the winter? So that's what we're looking for. Anyone who's looking to open that year-round homemade ice cream place here on the Seacoast, we're looking for you.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Well, I think it's been great. We've already seen some folks coming into the shop that are getting bikes because they want to come out on the bike trail, and it's been interesting. I've had people who are buying bikes so they can commute to work on the trail. Some just want to get exercise, and others are running errands and maybe going out to dinner to places along the trail. A lot of folks buying bikes and riding the Airport Cafe, for example. So it's a great benefit for the community.
Nice. And how do you think the community at large will respond to such a large project being put into their neighborhood?
I think it's been proven that, rail trails actually improve neighborhoods. So a lot of people are afraid, it's the old NIMBY, not in my backyard. But rail trails clean up those areas that were overgrown and unused, and makes it much nicer. Studies have shown home values actually go up within a mile of a trail once it's built. So it's a great benefit for folks along the trail.
Great. And what's your favorite flavor of ice cream to get in the summer?
Oh, my favorite flavor is mint chip. I've always been a mint chip person. So yeah.
And where do you like to get it?
Lagos over in Rye, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great improvement to the community. I've already seen a lot of interest as it was being built. Access to the trail, different businesses along there wanted to know how to connect to it and stuff. So I think it's going to be a great boon and a great asset. Seeing the number of people out here today as well too. I heard him mention about a big draw for tourism and stuff like that. I think in this area particularly between Portsmouth and Hampton Beach, it'll generate a lot of interest and a lot of economic activity.
Great. And how do you think local families will respond to this project?
Good. I hope they'll respond very good. The coordination through the communities, through the planning and design has been just great. So all of the communities along the trail are invested in the maintenance and keeping it up. So I'm sure that translates to them and their constituents and their townspeople and their communities.
Wow, this is such a great opportunity for the local community. It's going to establish a safe place for everyone from little kids to the grandparents to get out, to be active, to get the peace of mind of being out in nature and to be able to connect with others. We call them miles of smiles.
Great. And how do you think these families will respond to such a massive project coming into their neighborhood?
Oh, I hope they'll love it. I hope they'll see it as an opportunity to get active, to have a healthy life, to face climate challenges. All the things that make this great is it's accessible, it's fun, it's a great way to get out and you see the turtles, you see the trees, you see everything that makes the nature of New Hampshire great, and it's a good experience. So we want it to be out there for everyone. We want everyone to enjoy it, and because this is going to attract so many people, what we're going to see is businesses are going to be popping up left and right on each side of this trail. It's going to be great for small businesses, whether you're a bike shop, a brewery, restaurants, you name it. This is going to be great economically, for health, and for the environment.
Great. And how could individuals in the community join the cause, help out with the Greenway?
You know, we would love for everyone to be a part of this. 1, bring it to life. Get out there. Enjoy the Greenway. 2, volunteer. You know, think of ways that you can help this facility remain a great world-class linear park for everyone, for decades, for generations to come. So whether that's volunteering and helping on the side, or we're going to have an Adopt a Trail program so people can adopt a section of this Greenway. And then also, if people have an extra buck, if they could help the nonprofits involved, the East Coast Greenway Alliance, greenway.org, the New Hampshire Seacoast Greenway Alliance, these nonprofits are the lifeblood that keeps this going. And so any support would be very welcome.